who is A1 Environment and what do we do? A1 Environment is currently the only active coffee recycling company in Singapore. And we started, we started in 2012. Okay, so we're 8 years old this year. And what do I do inside there in A1 Environment? I am mostly in charge of marketing as well as business development. So I'm talking to a lot of partners. I'm also the one with a lot of fancy ideas. So, I'm sort of like the romantic about this. I say, I'm the one who goes, oh, we can do this. And how about we do this? And let's do this. And my partner is the one who has to sort of calm me down. But I think a lot of people here as well have a lot of great ideas that we're just hoping to implement in one way or another. And hopefully after today, we actually get the opportunity to work together, or if not even just to, connect and share ideas with one another. So, again, a little bit more about us. Again, we started in 2012, and at that point of time, we recycled and traded mostly in the paper commodity. But at that point of time, we were already recycling coffee, but it was on the request of one of our clients, and we didn't say no. We said, okay, let's find a solution to this, and that's generally the idea of how we work at A1 Environment. We want to make things work. We see, an opportunity to recycle something, and if we're able to make it happen, we will make it happen. But in 2018, we pivoted to recycling solely coffee, and that's where we are right now. And I'll share a little bit more with you about why and why we did that move. So I'm sure you guys have seen this figure before. Singapore uses, we import over 6 million kg of coffee grounds every year. And think about it. Coffee grounds, if you drink coffee in the kopitiam or in the cafes, you usually don't see the coffee grounds itself. You see the end product, which is set in front of you, the coffee. But most of the coffee grounds that is used to make your coffee just gets thrown away. This means over 6 billion kg of coffee grounds is being thrown away because we import it, we consume the coffee, and then there's no more use for the coffee grounds, and most of us just throw it away. And in addition to that, a lot of when we throw away waste, we measure it by weight. And wet coffee grounds are a lot heavier than dry coffee grounds. And this 6 million kg is only the weight of dry coffee grounds. So it's usually double to triple the amount of weight, wet coffee grounds. So this is like we estimate around 12 to 18 million kg of grounds just being thrown away every year. And this adds to a significant amount of food waste that's just being discarded. And we don't see it because we only see the liquid. Okay. So how do we recover coffee grounds? We recover the grounds from the source. It's separated at the source, as I'm sure there are a few coffee makers here inside the audience. Okay, you know that when you throw away grounds, it's usually thrown in a separate bin. And this is just because it's convenient. Your coffee machine is here, your coffee maker is here, your station is here, you throw your grounds away. So it's actually rather easy to separate the grounds already. It's very different from other types of food waste that you usually see in F&B outlets. It's already separated at source, and we call it a single stream food waste. A1 Environment provides dedicated receptacles. This can range from small little countertop or bins, containers to, bins that look like your dustbin, but they're all with lids. For larger F&B outlets, we can provide larger bins as well. And that's where they store the grounds until we come and collect them on a scheduled day. The coffee grounds are then processed, usually dried at our facility, and then they're sent to local organic farms to be made into compost. So at this point of time, we face a series of issues that make us, think further about how we wanted to recycle coffee grounds. At that point of time when we only had one or two clients, it was very easy. We found a farm who was able to accept all our grounds, and we were super happy with that already. But then we faced an issue where, of course, as you guys know, we do have a number of farms here in Singapore, and that's to do with our space scarcity. And not only that, out of all the farms that we were available to us, not all of them were willing to try coffee grounds out to be used within their compost or within the soil. This is because some of the farms over here have been quite successful, for generations, literally, and they saw no need to try something new, and so we don't blame them for it. And the other thing is they were not willing to pay for something that was, in their eyes, untested, even though there have been several studies to show how coffee grounds actually helps plant growth. Another challenge that we saw was the actual value of grounds was not very high, and we are a business, and we are not a social enterprise, and we are trying to stay away from being a social enterprise because we believe that being a waste management company, we have to be sustainable. We have to be a sustainable business, not only in the environmental sense, but also in the financial sense. And for us, it had to make financial sense for this whole thing, this whole circular economy to work, for us to fit into a circular economy. So then, because of those restrictions or the limitations that we saw just sending it to farms or local farms, we started exploring different ideas of what coffee grounds could be made into, consumer products. We started working with artists. We started exploring different types of technology that we could use, where we could, make something out of coffee grounds instead of just throwing it away, instead of just putting them into the ground. Basically, this is the whole idea of valorization. So we're trying to find a method to valorize these coffee grounds, and we're lucky that we have found very supportive partners. First of all, in the partners who send their grounds to us or recycle their grounds, they have been connecting us with a large number of people who are interested as well. But we also stumbled across a research group in Nanyang Polytechnic, NYP, who came up with this material, bio-composite material, that's made up over 50% of coffee grounds. So we started exploring that. So this is the material that you see on the right over here. This is the material that we're talking about. But just this idea to work, we still had to talk to various people, not only the scientists, from NYP. We had to speak to engineers. Is this possible to manufacture at a large scale? We were doing a lot of on-the-ground research with consumers. Are you actually interested in buying this? Because we feel if you're making something that is just too expensive to make, or you're making something that takes too much effort to make, so much so that it becomes like an art piece right in the middle of a grand hall. That's not what we want. We want something that can fit into our everyday life, something that is already people use every day. So for that, we're talking to consumers as well about what they will actually pay for. We also spoke to coffee shops as to, if you are recycling your coffee grounds and this coffee ground is made into a certain material, what items do you think you will use back in your coffee grounds if we're able to, use this to make anything at all? What what are you looking for? So some of them said the tables, the chairs, the countertops. Some said the cups, the plates, even stirrers. So there was general interest from them. We also wanted to talk to carpenters and woodworkers because the idea is to make a material that can suitably replace some forms of plywood. So, plywood is used very commonly in a lot of the items that we have, building materials, and even the table that I'm sitting at right now, the cupboard that's right beside me, in a lot of things. So we had to speak to them as to, if we're going to make this as a replacement for plywood, what would help you? So they say, okay, it has to be manufactured to a certain size. It has to meet certain standards, because all our equipment works within how plywood works. So if your material is able to match all these requirements, then for us, it's very easy to start using them in whatever we are building. So we had to talk to all of them. And of course, we're talking to retailers as well. And these retailers might be the coffee shops themselves. Some of them have some merchandise that they put on sale as well, as to what they think the market is looking for and what they are willing to sell. So just some challenges that we faced. For A1 Environment, let me be just very clear up front. We are a waste management company. We are a recycling company. And for us to look into the technology of manufacturing or this coffee grounds, our initial plan was to find this technology and find partners, to manufacture it along with us. We are looking for brands who are already using coffee grounds, existing technology, to come into Singapore, and we were open to say, hey, we already have the logistics for this. We already have half the work done, basically. You have the other half, which is your technology, your brand, your products are already using this coffee grounds. Can we find a way to work together and make this happen? We were not looking to monopolize the coffee valorization market. We were humbly just looking to just be waste collectors, recyclers, in that sense. We help you process the coffee grounds, and whoever wants this coffee grounds, let's find a way to work together. But we were turned away at a lot of points. If you do your research out there, you'll see just quite a number of companies actually who use coffee grounds to make materials. And we approached most of them, but they are either not interested in coming to Singapore, or they themselves were too small to think about expanding overseas, and so they were not ready to expand over here. So at that point of time, we had to say, like, okay, let's do it ourselves, because if not, there's no place to actually put all these coffee grounds. So I mentioned the second point before as well. A lot of people were unwilling to try it out. Be it people who are recycling the coffee, that means the coffee grounds waste producers, or even the farms who are willing to take it in. Even manufacturers, when we gave them, okay, we got the technology from NYP and say, okay, you actually have the capability to manufacture it. Do you want to work together and open a whole new source of revenue? And they were unwilling to try as well, because it's unprecedented. And not to forget, there is actually a cost of production and cost of logistics to collect and produce all these items. And when we talk about education, we still, in fact, just yesterday I was talking to someone, they just called me up straight away. Hey, I saw that you recycle coffee grounds. We're looking to donate our waste. And I have to say, we don't need donation of waste. There's more than enough waste in Singapore. Coffee producers need to understand that you need someone to process your waste. And that is something, not only in coffee ground valorization, but even previously when I was talking about just general recycling here in Singapore, this boils down all the way to our education system and our model of how we process waste and how we look at waste. A lot of people still look at waste as they sort of take waste for granted, and something that they can earn money from, when it shouldn't be. You need a whole team of people to process your waste, and so we sort of want to have that mindset shift as well. So we're aware that we are just one part of this whole system of a circular economy. Again, we are not looking for to monopolize everything. We're not looking to hold this technology very close to our chest, because we understand that it has to be multiple players working together to make a circular economy work. It's not just about one company stepping forward, two companies stepping forward, and then holding all of this very tightly to the chest and nothing ever happens. We're looking for partners to come together to sort of fuse all these puzzle pieces together, and get all the gears together and make this machine work. So there are a few people that we are looking for. Of course, if you serve coffee in your establishment, we want to talk to you. We want to explore how possible it is for you to start recycling your coffee, start having an alternative for you to put your coffee waste instead of just into the bin which goes into Semakau landfill. We want to talk to farms or people who use compost, because that is still always a very feasible option for us. We want to look at other food valorization companies. I mean, someone like Cosmod Health and Florence. I think I want to continue the conversation with you later as well. We want to look at people who use this end material at the end of it, such as carpenters or woodworkers here in Singapore. We're going to talk to manufacturers, because we do have the technology on hand, and we're still looking for manufacturers to work together with, because we are going to manufacture a range of products on our end, but we also have the food, the recovery, coffee grounds recovery, that we also want to focus on. So we're still very open to working with other manufacturers who maybe have their own range of products that they're looking at. And of course, retailers, or people who have ideas or a whole range of products that they're looking at that they want to make out of sustainable materials. We want to talk to you. We want to understand a little bit more about how we can fill the gap that you might have over here, and hopefully we can work together in the near future. So if you would like to connect somehow, even if it's just to have a chat over some coffee, we can do that. You can reach out to me. This is my contact details. These are my contact details. And I'll be very happy to, even just explore. If you have any other questions after today as well, I'll be happy to speak to you. And of course, you can always go through NEA. Thank you so much to the committee for organizing this series of talks today, which I feel is very, very useful for everyone in the industry. Thank you so much.